Om Swastiastu. Good morning, all. How are you today? Well, I hope all of you are well. So today we will continue about our material last week's. But before we start our lesson today, we must pray first. Okay, start pray. Okay, done. Okay, now we will go to the next chapter on this material, that is mathematical logic. In this chapter, there are several sub-chapters, including the first is propositional, next negation, conjunction, disjunction, implication or conditional statement, and the last one is implication. But now we will go to the next material, that is implication or conditional statement. Now let's consider the definition of conditional statement or implication. Conditional statements are formed by joining two statements with the word if and then. For example, let P and Q be proposition. The proposition if P then Q, denoted by P implies Q, is called implication or conditional statement. Now, please pay attention to this important point. If P then Q is called conditional statement, we know that already from the structure of the sentence. If the word if then are the sentence, it always a conditional statement. Next, we will go to the truth value of conditional statement. You can read that table on the slide. When P is true, Q is true, and then P implies Q will be true. Next, when P is true, Q is false, P implies Q will be false. Next condition, if P is false, Q is true, P implies Q is true. And the last, when P is false, Q is false, and then P implies Q is true. But the point we need to understand in this truth table of conditional statement is when P is false, it doesn't matter what will be the truth value of the Q, P implies Q is always true. In this slide, P is called hypothesis or the premise, and then Q is called conclusion or consequence. Implication or conditional statement are those statements where a hypothesis is followed by a conclusion. Okay, next. This is the example of conditional statement or implication. I have the sentence, if you try hard for your exam, then you will succeed. We know that this sentence is conditional statement from the structure of the sentence. there is word if and word then. So that's mean this sentence is conditional statement. We can write P as a hypothesis, which is you tried hard for your exam, and then Q as a conclusion, which is you succeed. From this sentence, we have some case. Case number 1, you tried hard for your exam and you succeed. We know from case number 1, the P is true and Q is true. Now we must remember again the truth value of conditional statement. When P true, Q true, and then P implies Q is true. So compound proposition P implies Q is true. Next case is case number 2. You tried hard for your exam, but you not succeed. It means that P is true and then Q is false. In the table, truth value of conditional statement, when P true and Q false, P implies Q will be false. So, compound proposition P implies Q in this case is false. Next case, case number 3. You haven't tried hard for your exam and you succeed. From the sentence, we know that P is false because there is word have not or haven't. And then Q is true, you succeed. We look again to truth value of conditional statement. When P false, Q true, and then P implies Q is true. So the compound proposition P implies Q is true. Last but not least, case number 4. You haven't tried hard for your exam and you not succeed. From this sentence, we know that P is false and Q is false too. So, the compound proposition P implies Q is true. Now, the golden point we must understand is if P is false, then it doesn't matter what will be the truth value of Q, P implies Q is always true. Next, we're going to the types of implication. First is converse implication. Converse implication of P implies Q is Q implies P. Number 2, contraposition implication. Contraposition implication of P implies Q is not Q implies not P. And the last is inverse implication. Inverse implication of P implies Q is not P implies not Q. So that's all about our lesson today. So now all of you can get some rest and see you next time.